Now making purple using watercolours can be very straightforward to do, it really can, and that's just by using your own selection of blues and reds that you've got within your colour collection, be it tube paints or in my case half pans. So I'm going to show you the purples which I've made here by mixing my 4 different blues and my 3 different reds. Well, opera rose, yeah, near enough. Now we know we can use purple straight from the half pan or tube paint, whichever one you're using, but sometimes it's not quite the right colour. So it would be quite interesting to see how many purples or what kind of purples I can make from the colour selection I got within my half pans here. And these are my usual Winsor & Newton colours, which I obviously use in my video lessons. So let's start off with French ultramarine or ultramarine blue or even just ultramarine. It depends on the manufacturer's name, I know. So let's start with that one. Okay, have a look at that. I'll put that into my mixing well here. Give this one a try. But what can we mix with it? So what we need obviously for purples is blues and reds. Now I've got 3 different reds here and I've got 4 different blues. Now I'm going to make this more to a probably milky consistency. But I'm going to add in a little bit of alizarin crimson. I'm going to increase the alizarin crimson within the mix as I go along. Not even touched it, has it? Barely even made a dent in that colour. It's a little bit more. There we go. So for French ultramarine and alizarin crimson, we'll start off with more of a blue shade first of all, like that. And then what we're going to do is increase the colour now, increase that red within that mix. Probably a little bit more. So that's now more of a purple shade, isn't it? So let's give that one a try a minute. Let's see how that looks on the paper. Then we can mingle that in, mix it in with the one above. So let's add a little bit more alizarin crimson in there now. Well, my palette's on a slight angle here, so that's fine. Let's try that colour. So that's a little bit more red in there, and look at the difference that's made. So now we've got more. It's just going to blend it all the way up though. So from the more of a blue shade right down to more of a red shade, which we can add in just a little bit more. See that? So that's just one purple to begin with. So we've got that one. Now what if we add a different colour to that blue? What if we add, so French ultramarine and maybe Scarlet Lake? Now Scarlet Lake's a lovely bright red, isn't it? And you would assume with that we should get more of a sort of intense colour. Let's give that one a try. Oh, you can see that's changed it already, so I'm going to put a little bit more blue in there to begin with. And you can see that's actually quite a dull colour really, isn't it? Let's just try that. Yeah, that's very dull. So one colour cancels out the next when you add these 2 colours together. A little bit more of the red. It's all about playing with the paints that you've got and see what happens with those colours. Yeah, and as you can see that's cancelled out that colour. There's no vibrancy within that whatsoever, even though this colour here is lovely and vibrant. So then you've got those colours mixed together and the vibrancy is completely gone. It's completely killed it, hasn't it? Even though you'd expect to have a vibrant colour with that red there. And also that blue is lovely, isn't it? French ultramarine is a nice colour to use. Let's have another go. Let's try French ultramarine and opera rose. Okay, first colour mix, here we go. So French ultramarine with opera rose, and you can see I've already got a little bit of a purple hint in there. And it's quite a bright one as well, isn't it? Goes to show just by changing that colour. I mean, this is more pink than red, I know, but it's still red in a way. Still got red inside that mix. And look at the difference that's making already. Oh, that's a lovely, vibrant purple. It really is. A little bit more rose in there now. Let's make it even brighter, just a touch more. We'll start down there. And as you can see, those 2 colours work really well together. Okay, so that's with the French ultramarine. So let's try the same thing with the phthalo blue. Now, if you know phthalo blue, you know it's a very, very vivid colour. Just show you what I mean there, look. See how bright that blue is? One of my favourite colours, that, you know, it really is. So try that again, but with the same 3 reds. Not that you always need intense purple. When you look at this mixture here, that's very similar if I watered it down to this here, really. Bit of water in there. You know, it's always good to mix your own colours if you can, rather than just using one straight from the half pan or tube paint, because it's nice to kind of mix your own colours and get used to mixing as well, and see what colours that you can make within all the colours that you've got within your art box. And I'm sure, like me, you've probably got quite a few knocking about. And even with just the basic colours, the 3 primary colours, you can still make an array of purples, you really can. So we've got the phthalo blue. Let's go for a little bit of the alizarin crimson. Hardly any on that, I know. And that's still more on the blue side, isn't it? Well, extremely blue, I know. Some more of the alizarin crimson in here. Try that. Very slowly. See the difference? Just by adding that one colour in. And let's have some more now. Let's increase it. That's now getting much more purple, but still on the blue side. Okay, I'll add this one as the last colour down there. It's just quite a deep purple, that one, isn't it? Good group, I know, but very deep looking purple there. So let's do the same again, but this time with Scarlet Lake. Now, will that Scarlet Lake deaden the colour again? I think it might do, you know. And you can see with this colour, again, it's deadened that colour. It's more of a very dull browny red colour, isn't it, again? It's just not working whatsoever, not for a vibrant colour anyway. They don't always need to be vibrant colours, of course not, but in nature you might find some very dull browns, but quite rich browns as well. And this would work beautifully for that, it really would. And that's basically what we got there. We've made ourselves a lovely brown mix. Just by using phthalo blue and a little bit of Scarlet Lake. Okay, so I've made a mess on there anyway. We're going to paint over the top of that regardless. So what we're going to do is do the same again, and this time phthalo blue with opera rose. Now you can see with that mix, just like this one, it works really, really well. What a lovely purple that makes. Indigo and also cerulean blue. How will they fare to make a nice purple? Let's find out, shall we? Now if you do like this video, click on that subscribe button down below and also the like button as well. At least that way around, when I do put another video on here for you to watch, you shouldn't miss it. Now you can see this one is more of a kind of semi-vibrant one, isn't it? And this would be really useful for some of those really dark shaded areas when you're painting. You know, when you've got the contrasting colours, you want a warm background colour. Something like this would work really, really well. Let's go for the indigo and also, guess what? Scarlet Lake. Wonder what's going to happen this time around. And this one is more of a dull colour, isn't it? It really is. It's not one I would use for a vibrant painting. But if I'm working with a vibrant painting, as I mentioned, this particular mix will work really well. But something like this, yeah, even though it's a warm colour, it's more of a colour that goes in the background out of the way, in my eyes. Anyway, that's why I would see this. So Indigo and Scarlet Lake. Let's try another one. Indigo, and guess what? Opera Rose. Now we know that with these two colours, we should end up with a very clean and bright looking colour. So let's see how this one goes. I'm trying to keep the mix more to a milky consistency. Now that is more of a warmer mix, isn't it? I quite like that colour actually, to be honest with you. And that would work really well within some of the more botanical style paintings I do. So a nice one to use. And as you can see, even though Opera Rose is more of a sort of pinky red, isn't it? But more on the pink side than red, you can see it still makes a lovely purple, as it did do with the French ultramarine and Opera Rose as well. And also, don't forget, that one there, the phthalo blue and Opera Rose. So let's do the same again with cerulean blue and the 3 red colours as well. And applying it wet in single lines, as simple as that. Let's compare these two together while I'm doing that, because I'm going to use the Opera Rose again on this particular one. Just want to see what they're like side by side. You see already, this is getting much warmer. But what you can see, as you would do from the French ultramarine colour, a little bit in there, the granulation of the paint. See how it's granulating from the blue? Just kind of separating with the pigments on the paper. And that works really well. It's quite a nice effect actually. Which is why very often people use this sort of mix within some of their landscapes and also botanical painting styles. Okay, let's get a little bit more of that. You can see now it's more towards the Opera Rose side. But it's still got that purple hint. But that's the difference with cerulean blue. Such a pale blue, isn't it? But it still works really, really well, including the granulation, I know, to get this sort of effect. It really does. I do like that. We'll do the same again in reverse for the Scarlet Lake and also the alizarin crimson. And that will be handy for certain subjects, especially within landscapes, but also for brightly coloured birds, for example, a red cardinal. Now that's much more of a subtle purple, isn't it, with Scarlet Lake? And again, that Scarlet Lake cancels out the vibrancy of that colour, as you can see with the other ones here as well. So last one to go, well, for now anyway. So let's give this a try with cerulean blue and alizarin crimson. Now what kind of colour will that make? Let's find out. Yeah, I mean that's quite a nice purple, that, isn't it? It really is. Again, it's very similar, in a way, to this colour here, but much more of a darker shade, as you can see on my petal there. So you can see even with this colour here, it's a lovely colour to use, it really is. It's more of a subtle purple, isn't it? It's not as bright as the French ultramarine and opera rose, that's a lovely colour. And when you look at the phthalo blue and opera rose, that's actually duller than this one here, even though both colours are very bright on their own. And this is just by mixing the 4 colours I've got here for blue. Can you imagine what else you can mix from the colours that you've got within your selection? Give it a go, have a try and see what colours you can make. Then what you can do, you can make something like these swatch cards here. And these are just for the single paints within my half pan collection here, that's all it is. And what you can do then, compare these, don't want the greens obviously, to any purples you got here. I've got 3 different purples, there's my opera rose there, look. So let's just have a quick look at these purples here. And if I quickly go through, don't need that one, these 3 purple mixes, and these are these mixes down here, which is the ultramarine violet, the mauve and the purple lake. I want to see if any of these mixes are very similar. This one is very similar to the mauve, slightly more on the pink side. But if I had to touch more blue to that, I'll have a very similar colour to this. And that's also quite similar, not quite the same, but similar to this one here, which is the ultramarine violet. And you can find that as you go through your colours here, you think, oh yeah, that's very similar to that one now. You know, and that's how you're going to work out if I watered that down, that would be very similar to this one, which is Purple Lake. And these are the single mixes which I've got down there. But I've made my own richer versions by mixing 2 colours together, just blue and red. Now if you do fancy making something like these little colour swatches, have a look at the link to the top right hand corner of the screen. I'll see you there.